I noticed a ghost standing alone in the corner. I walked over and asked if he needed any help.
No, I'm just here to see my mom. She's coming to meet me. I do it every year.
Every Christmas?
5 years now. It's kind of our thing since, I died.
He told me his name was Aiden. I invited him to come to the hospital lobby to hear A Christmas Carol, but he declined.
Thanks, but I don't want to miss my mom. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
After waiting for several hours, his mother still hadn't shown up. There was a bad snowstorm outside, and Aiden was worried. I told him I could make some calls, check with other hospitals to see if she was in an accident. While waiting for responses, Aiden told me 5 years ago he was in the hospital with leukemia, too sick to go home, so his mom took him downstairs to see the Christmas tree. Since he died, Mom came back every year to hang an angel ornament with his name on it, and Aiden came back too, just to see her. After a few calls, I confirmed there was no record of her in any emergency room. She was probably just delayed by the storm. Ada looked relieved, but his eyes still held a trace of worry.
Mom used to put my name on an angel like that one.
I found Betty, the woman who decorated the tree every year, and asked if she knew a woman who came alone each Christmas to hang an angel ornament. But what she said next caught me off guard.
Her baby must only be a few months old.
Her baby?
Yeah, she told me she was pregnant last year.
Ada walked away dejectedly. I could feel his heartbreak. For a child who had been gone for 5 years, the most terrifying thing must be being forgotten. I wanted to tell him that a mother never forgets her child. He shook his head with a bitter smile.
Mom moved on. Maybe I should too.
Watched his lonely figure. I didn't want him to leave like this. I found Betty and asked for an angel ornament. I wrote Aiden's name on it and hung it on the tree. Just then, a woman walked into the lobby carrying a baby.
Mom?
Betty?
Oh, what a cutie.
This is Jamie. Jamie, how are you?
I stepped forward and handed the ornament to Shona, explaining that I was worried she might not make it because of the storm. So I made one just in case.
Tough time of year.
Well, ever since I've had Jamie, I miss Aiden more and more. He was always looking after others, even when he was sick.
I looked over at Aiden. He finally understood. The new life wasn't a replacement. It was a continuation.
And he would have made the best big brother.
Love is never diminished by new life. Longing never fades with time. Those who leave us never truly leave. They live on in our memories, in every moment we think of them. And letting go isn't forgetting, it's moving forward, carrying their love with us.
Take my neighbor's perfect husband. I spent 15 long years, every single day. Late at night, I kissed his photo for 8 straight hours. To get closer sooner, I spent $5 million in cash and bought the house right next door. When he found out I was the new neighbor, he treated me with unusual warmth. Even his wife was friendly to me. That night, they invited me over for dinner. I wore an extremely daring dress, hoping to catch his eye. He never looked at me once. That night, he was even closer with his wife. The next day, I heard she needed to prepare gifts for a client. I volunteered to help and made the pastries myself. As soon as the client ate them, he collapsed and was rushed to the hospital. She was fired on the spot. She stormed over to confront me, demanding to know what I put inside. I acted innocent and said she never told me about any allergies. She blamed herself for the mistake and kept apologizing to me. She didn't dare tell her husband that she had lost her job. Watching her fall apart, I felt pure satisfaction, but that was nowhere near enough. I persuaded my devoted follower to pose as a professional financial advisor. He called her to promote an investment plan. At first, she showed no interest, but when she heard the returns could double, she wavered immediately. She asked to meet in person. I deliberately chose the cafe her husband visited all the time. When he walked in and saw her laughing with another man, the misunderstanding exploded. During the conversation, he learned she had used their family account in secret. In that moment, he felt completely ignored. They argued in public, right in front of everyone. Back home, just as he tried to calm things down, he found out she had been fired. He said she failed at everything. Even their daughter had reached her limit. They had promised that her mother would do her makeup and attend her high school graduation together, but she had no choice and came to me instead. The distance between us quietly disappeared. She even said she wished her own mother were this gentle. When her mother finally snapped back to reality, everything was already too late. I told her I had taken care of it. She was upset, said I crossed a line, and politely told me not to do it again. I explained that I only meant well. As she walked away, I smiled to myself. To replace her completely, I tampered with her car's brake system. After she left the house, I quietly slipped inside. I took the bank details and passwords. Using her computer, I transferred all their savings into the fake advisor's account. Not long after, her car broke down halfway. She started a video call to tell her daughter she might miss the graduation. Then she saw me standing in her place, next to her daughter. Her face froze instantly. When she finally got home, she saw me inside her house, laughing laughing with her husband and daughter. It looked like we were the real family. She completely lost control and threw me out, but her husband blamed her instead. He said she missed their daughter's big day, and I was the one who stepped in. Once again, the air turned ice cold. That night, just as things slightly eased, she received
A man jolts awake from his sleep. Low, guttural zombie growls echo outside. Morgan peeks out and chooses to ignore them. Suddenly, his daughter starts crying. She is clearly hungry. Morgan plays music through the headphones Grace left behind, and the baby slowly calms down. To find formula, Morgan heads out with his child to search for supplies. When he reaches the beach, he discovers a zombie buried in the sand. Morgan scans the area cautiously, then removes the zombie's mask. The person was buried alive. Morgan keeps moving and arrives at a small town. He finally finds a can of formula in a car, but when he opens it, it is empty. These days, supplies are already scarce, and baby formula is almost impossible to find. He then enters a store, but only an oxygen tank remains on the shelves. Nothing else useful. After walking for who knows how long, Morgan spots a mansion and decides to try his luck inside. The place is unusually neat and unsettlingly quiet. Morgan searches carefully. As he reaches the stairs, a woman's voice suddenly comes from a room. He pushes the door open. The woman immediately tenses up and raises a knife, demanding to know why he is there. Morgan lowers his weapon and calmly says he is just looking for food. When she hears the baby crying, her expression softens, but she still tells him there is no food here. That night, Morgan lies in his small boat, empty-handed. His nerves snap to attention. He slowly pulls open the tent zipper.
In the art class, the teacher spotted dirt on the model's thigh. The apprentice rushed to wipe it off. When a student's drawing went wrong, the teacher exploded in anger.
Rubbish. Breasts like flour sacks.
Later, while checking assignments, he threw out any student whose work didn't please him. One boy turned in a blank sheet. No one could have guessed. That boy was Leonardo da Vinci. Staring at the model in front of him, Leonardo couldn't bring himself to draw. To him, she wasn't a goddess. She was a rural girl struggling to make a living. But the teacher forced her into the role of the goddess of the hunt. Leonardo couldn't see divinity in her face. He only saw the calluses on her hands, the scars on her arm, the marks on her back. He couldn't create the goddess everyone else imagined. He could only draw what he truly saw. With no work to show, Leonardo sought out the model in private. Molly struck the same pose as in class, but Leonardo shook his head. He told her to sit on a stool, just as she always did. To him, she wasn't a goddess of the hunt, just a simple rural girl. But charcoal wasn't enough. He wanted color. Late at night, Leonardo snuck into his teacher's studio, stealing paints only the master possessed. He went back to Molly's small rented room and began adding color to his sketch. That night, returning home, Leonardo found his teacher still awake, sitting at his easel, face full of worry. He asked what troubled him. The teacher admitted he was overwhelmed. He had been commissioned by the church to lift an 18-ton cross onto the top of the city's largest cathedral. It was an honor, but it was also nearly impossible. Every design he sketched could raise the cross, but the scaffolding couldn't bear the weight as it turned in the air. His reputation hung in the balance. Leonardo was fascinated. He scanned the drawings again and again until the teacher ordered him to bed. But lying in the dark, he couldn't stop thinking. When he blew out the candle, the swirl of smoke sparked an idea.
A man threw himself against the wall with all his strength. It was his plan to escape. Though it seemed nearly impossible, his determination moved someone else, who decided to join the wall-crashing effort. So they began crashing into the wall with everything they had. To their surprise, the sturdy wall actually started to crack, but the guards clearly didn't notice and thought the two of them had lost their minds. Carl knew it. Success was just around the corner. He boldly shouted out. Then the other prisoners in the yard started running, charging toward the prison walls, but their strength wasn't enough. Eventually, they ran out of energy. The guards were shocked by their foolishness. Despite trying countless times, everyone started to lose hope. But Carl and David still believed